Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel and this amazing video. I'm Aditya. In this video, we will see how to create a Nuxt 3 meta tag generator. Before that, before we begin actually, I would like to apologize because I'm already late for this video. And secondly, I would be honest that I'm not using any Prisma or SQLize anything here to make it as a complete full stack app. What I'm using here is Firebase Admin SDK and Firebase Client SDK. So there is just authentication, and once you go there through the authentication, there is also sign up. Once you go through it, then we go to dashboard and we generate the meta tags, and also we have highlight.js to highlight the code, to generate the code, all those fancy stuffs. So let me show you. On sign up page we have the sign up, which works with register, and here we have login. So once we log in, so that becomes first the client side login, and then server takes over to take the server side login, gets the session cookie, make this server side rendered component, and now we just need to follow the steps here. So let's say, what's the site name? I'm gonna say my site. Then what is it? It's a website. Then what's the page title? This is our app description. This is a sign-in page. Then https example.com sign in. Now if we generate, there we go. We have these things over here. Now we can copy these from here and let's paste it inside app.view to see how it looks like. And there we go. So without any further ado, let's begin. So I have a basic Nuxt 3 project here with Tailwind CSS installed and set up. So now what we need to do is we need to have Firebase. So let's go to Firebase over here, create a project. So I'm going to call it Nuxt 3 full stack. And let's continue. Don't need Google Analytics for now, so create project. Right, so our project is ready. Hit continue, and there we go. Now let's go here, project settings. Oh sorry, we need to create an app first. So project overview, and here let's create a web app. So here I'm gonna call it Nuxt 3 app again. Nuxt 3 full stack app. Register, and we are gonna get some Firebase configs, so we need to copy it and put it inside our project. Before that, let's install Firebase. I will also need Firebase Admin SDK for server-side authentication. So I'm gonna say Firebase Admin, and till then we can just get this code snippet. So let's copy it. Let's go over here. Okay, let's do this in composables. Whatever are the client-side composables, I will use inside the composable. Whatever are the server-side composables, I will create in the server folder. So here, let's create new file, use firebase.js, and let's paste those over here. Now, let's remove these comments. These are not needed. Let's also remove this. So this is the basic config. Now, what I need to do is I just need to export it so that I can use it somewhere. So here I'm going to say, or I will wrap all of these actually. Okay, this is not needed, only this one, because this is we just need to initialize this. So here I'm gonna say like this: export default use Firebase function. That's gonna return this app, but also we need to do something like this. Here I need to have get apps. They have something like get apps. All I need to make sure is when I initialize this app, I just need to make sure that the app is not already initialized. So here I'm going to say if get apps length is equal to 0. Now if you're on JavaScript, most probably you won't get any error till this point. Or if I just wrap it in something like this, you won't get any error. But if you're on TypeScript, you might get some errors. So in that case, you can define const app is let app, and then you just can assign a value to that app. Okay, so this is done. Now, next thing we need to do is we need to go with the user authentication. So let's go back to Firebase. So this is done. Continue to console. Here, authentication. I'm going to keep it simple. Email password authentication for now. So let's go there. Email password, enable, perfect. Awesome. Now let's go over here and let's go inside our pages. Let's create a page. So index.view. Awesome. So this is our home page. Now our home page is going to be the login page, while we will also have a sign up page. So here I could say signup.view. Perfect. And here inside the components, we can create our components. So let's create one by one. So first we will need a label component. So label.view, oops, vbase setup script, label. So there we go. So I want this text to be base, then what else? Maybe text gray of maybe 700, font semi bold, or let's do something like this. Thick, is there a font thick? I don't think so. No. Let's do semi bold. Let's see what options we have. I just want something before semi bold. Medium, yeah, medium should be fine. Then yeah, this should be fine. And here we will have our slot to render the label. Perfect. So that's for the label. Let's go for the input.view. Now here, if you have seen my previous video about creating a reusable input component, or if you have seen that my view refactor code, there we have seen how we can create a reusable input where we can have vmodel on the component. So I'm going to do something like that. So here I will have the input vbase. This should be a setup script. So let's make it as a setup script here. So we don't need to import ref or everything because it's auto imported in Nuxt 3. So here I will have props. So we could say define props. We will have model value. Just gonna be either string, not strong, string or number. Then we have value. That's gonna be string or number, because if we have input type number, then for that case. And what else? Rest other will be the other props, so we don't need to worry about that. And here we need emit. So define emits, update model value. We don't need update value, we just need update model value. Perfect. Here let's remove this and just create a simple input. And what I'm going to do is I'll say class. So width of this will be full. Then border gray of 200, rounded. Then outline, I want no outline, just when it's focused. Then I want some ring around it, and that ring, what color should we go with? Let's go with maybe purple, typical. 300, let's do 500, that should be fine. Then we want the text to be gray of maybe 600. What else? Then we want the transition states to, so transition all, duration should be 150, ease in, ease out. Awesome. And then we want value is value from the props, and here we want at input we want to $emit this one, update model value, and $event.target.value. Awesome. So that's our input. Now next thing we need to do, oh yes, one more thing we were missing is we bind. If we want to have those types and all other thing, placeholder and all those things, so we bind $attributes. Perfect. Right, now next is to create the form input, or actually we can create form group, to be honest, from form group dot view. So here we can have div, or we could use vbase actually to get the template. Here I want, so this is flex column space y of 2, label will be whatever the label comes from on props. Then we have input, then type will be here, so type will come from props again. Then we have what else? Value, that will be binded by the value again. And here we need on input, we want to, actually this is gonna give me @update model value. Whenever this thing happens, we want to then emit an event, because this model value is coming from, it's gonna happen on this input through the component. So b model over here on the component will be colon value @update model value. And here what we need to do is we need to have our own emits here. So this will be something like this, $emit update model value, then again $event.target.value. So that goes over here, and here we will need those props. So here, actually here we will also need the model value, so we will just get it in a moment. So define props, label will be string, type will be string, value numbered and that, and we will also need model value here as well, because this is gonna, we will have vbind on this component over here. So that's for this. Then what do we need? Define emit update model value. And what else do we need? Yeah, we just need a placeholder here, so we can get the placeholder as well here. Placeholder, it's going to be string. That goes over here as placeholder, and that should be fine. Okay, so far so I guess we are good. Let's remove this. So that becomes our form group. Maybe we'll need something for errors, so let's put also for error message. If it should be a string, actually, error message. And here we could have error message, and we will only keep this one be if error message, and we will make this as a p tag instead of div tag. Perfect. So that becomes our form group. Now let's get our login form and register form. Now if you have seen my previous video, the login form and register form is nothing going to be a reusable component again. But before that, let's create here use auth for Firebase, or should we call it use user? Actually, use user store dot JS. I'm so in TypeScript, no, JavaScript. So here what do we need is we will need to export default function use user store. So here we will have const user equal to use state. This is gonna call user store use state, and by default this is gonna be a empty object of something like this. We will need the UI. Let's see, what do we need later, but it's gonna return an empty object, so we can do it something like this. Perfect. Then we will just export this. Sorry, not this. We will export the function, but we will return the user, so that if we want to change the state of this user, we can just change it from somewhere we want. Now here, what do we need is actually, you know what? We could make this as an auth. Let's do that. Let's do that, because yeah, let's do use auth, and let's make that user as a state like this. And then here we have function to login and function to log out. Well, we will also need a function to sign in. All right, awesome. And I think this should be fine. Now we just need to get use Firebase. Use Firebase, so that we can have the Firebase functionality. So const app equal to use Firebase. No need to import it because that's going to be auto imported. Then what do we need? Right. So I think this is going to throw an error, because my plan is to use it through a middleware. We'll see. If it throws an error, we will just take this somewhere, and let's make this use auth. We will see. Okay, so function login, function logout, function sign in. Awesome. Let's need to sorry, this why the sign up should be not sign in, sign up. And let's send this as well, like this, and logout. Perfect. Now we will use Firebase client-side authentication initially, and once we get the once authentication is successful, we'll send the token or something to the server so that server can authenticate using a session-based cookie. Okay, so let's do that quickly. Now all of these I have already covered in my previous videos, so please do check those videos where we have done the session-based authentication. So here we will first need to import certain things from Firebase auth. So we will need get auth, I guess. Yeah, get auth. Then we will also need set persistence, and we will also need I think sign in with email and password. Sign in with email and password. Sign up with email and password should be somewhere here. Sorry, create user with email and password. Yeah, that one with email and password. So we will have auth, and they will pass email and password here. So we could have email comma password. We will pass it as an object, so we don't need to pass it one by one. So email password, and this should be something like this. Okay. And then we will have a user if the user exists. Let's call it user details like this so that it doesn't conflict with this user here. And then we need to get the value of the user. So user dot value equal to user details dot, I guess they have user inside it. And then we need to send these details to the server. We need the ID token, and then we send it to the server. Okay, so let's do that. But also I want to set the persistence of auth, and once they sign in, we don't want to store it in the browser. We want to do it everything by server side. So, and then next we will need is we need to send the ID token to the server so that server can use this ID token to authenticate the user using session cookie. So here I could do something like this: user dot no, this should be user details dot, do they have ID token? No, they don't have it. So user details dot user dot get ID token, that will have it. And this token I will console for now, but later we will send it to the server. Same thing, we need to do it for the sign up. So copy this from here over here. Instead of sign in with email and password, we'll have create user with email and password. We have auth, email, password, user details, pretty much similar. So that's for user, email and password. Logout, as we are doing, if we are doing local logout, then local based authentication as well, or local storage, so we will need our logout here. And we also need to make a request to server to log them out. So here I'm gonna say auth dot sign out, and then we make a request to the server to clear off the cookies. Now if you are using session based or cookie based authentication, you cannot of course deploy this on Firebase, because Firebase do not allow any cookies in the response till today's date when the video is recorded. So if we want to do this as a real app, we have to just put it somewhere on Netlify or Vercel. Right. So this is our scaffolding for authentication. Now it's time to get this form and everything over here. We also need a button actually. How can I forget that? Button.view. And here we will have Firebase. Again, button. This can go. And here we have vbind $attributes. I'm gonna keep this button like, sometimes I want like a button in dark color, sometimes I want it like, let's say light color or some other color. So what I'm gonna do is I won't give any color class or text color class. I will just give the, like you could say like the layout or the box class kind of things. So here I'm going to say class equal to, and then I'm going to say px of 5, py of 2, rounded md, and outline should be none, and this should be fine. Okay, let's give it some light shadow kind of thing. Perfect. Now let's create a form for authentication. So form or user form.view. Let's have vbase here. This will be our form for sign up and sign in. So here I will need prop to understand whether this form is for sign up or whether it's for sign in. So define props. Actually, we could use straight this form to for our sign up or sign in using a if condition, because we already have user auth access. So we don't need to do specifically anything different here. Okay, let's do that. Actually, let's have this in the form and let's see what happens. Let's try something new. So const props equal to define, let's do form props, so that if you are using TypeScript for some reason, then you won't get a conflict of props having scope and all those things. Define props. And here what do I need is, what's the type of this form? This form is type gonna be string, and we will ask them to provide type because it's essential they provide type from the front end or wherever the component is used, and that should be fine, I guess. So let's have actually something like this. So type will be of string, and we need a validator here. So validator, a function to validate the prop value. So it should be either a login form or a register form, and it cannot have value apart from these two. Perfect. So let's go over here and let's have class. Now it depends how we want our form, like should be a full scale, full width form, or how. Let's give width of full. We'll adjust it later. So width of full, then flex column, and space y of maybe 3. We are not handling error in user auth. Where is that? Over here. We need to handle errors. We need to make sure that this email and password, when they come over here as well, email, password, they are not just random things. We also need a name so that we can add it in the database, the user details. So we'll need a Firebase storage. I guess sign up will need some extra work, but suffice to say we need a validator here. So here I'm going to say function, or let's create a separate I would say composable for validator. So, or we could use Zod as well for this. There's so many options. So use validator. So this npm izod, npm install Zod till it's installing. Okay, let's get back that validator. So use new file, use auth validator.js, export default function use validator. So here we will have import z from Zod. Now here we are validating email, password, and name. It should be use auth validator, by the way. So what we will need here is we will need an object. So it will be email, password, name, and we need to specify whether this is like what type of validation is this. So type, and there we go. So Copilot, thank you. We have type of login. So if we are like with the login form, we just validate email, password, and then we return the parsed input of this. If there is an error, this will throw an error. If not, it will throw just the email, password as it is. Then we do the same thing for sign up, sign in, and should be fine. Perfect. So let's go back over here to use auth, and here we need to first validate this. So I'm going to say const validate. This should return us either of these values, or validated data kind of, you could say. So validated data. So I'm going to say use auth validator. No need to import it because it's inside the composable. And here I need to pass email password, and I need to say that this is a login form. Okay, same for this for sign up, but here I need to say this is a register form. I also need to pass name. All right, let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, email password name, that's cool. So yeah, this should be fine. Oh, it's sign up, not register. That's fine. Let's change it over here. Awesome. Now next thing we need to do is, we don't need to worry about we just need to pass this email password over there. And okay, we will also need a ref value. So what we could do is, if there are any the errors are caught. So okay, let's find a way to optimize this. So here I could say const error bag, error bag, and this error bag will be, I will take it as a ref rather than anything else. And this error bag will contain email for null, password for null, and name for null for now. So ref of error bag, yeah, we need one more of this. Awesome. And we will also send this error bag, and if there are any errors, we will just catch them over here, and then we'll proceed forward. Let's get the form on the display first so that we can see what's happening. So that's user form over here. So we need the form group, and this if type equal to register, then we need to show the name. Label will be name, full name actually, and here we can just pass it like this, full name error. And then we can have, actually I'm thinking to take this as a reactive object. So user dot, let's say user form dot full name. Actually we are calling it name, so it should be name like this, and we just need more of these. So here this is gonna be of type text. So let's copy this from here. We need one for, so this is not needed because these are mandatory one. So this can go. Here we will have email. Here we will have password. Okay, this will be email and password. Okay, this will be full name error. Okay, let's make this as in the error bag as well. Error bag dot name, error bag dot email, and here we have error bag dot what is this, password. Awesome. And at the end we will need a button to submit this. So button, let's keep it purple. Oh, let's go with blue color, blue, and submit button. And here we will have text. If it's a sign up, then login, then login, otherwise register. Perfect. Other thing we will need is we need to get that user things. So here const, so we will have use auth, and here we will have user. Then we don't need user, actually we need error bag, because user can be straight away put it over there. Error bag, then we will need login, and there we will need sign up. We're calling it sign up, or yeah, sign up. Awesome. So also need to pass name here, name. And okay, let's close this, too many tabs open. And also here we will need user form as a reactive value, and here we just need to get this over here like this, rate submit dot prevent process for this form. So this will be a function here, process, and here we need to know what's the form type. If it's a login form, then this, it's a sign in form. We don't need the brackets like this because if it's a single statement. Awesome, that's perfect. Now let's bring this form on our input, not input.view. Where is our index.view? We need actually a layout. So here inside layouts, let's do something like this, guest layout.view, and here we need to have vbase setup script. Let's create a header component. Let's do something like this, menu, and inside that menu let's create okay, let's do index.view. So this will be our menu component, and also let's get menu link, or link actually, link.view. So this will be our Nuxt link. So vbase setup script, Nuxt link, and we can make it like, let's go put setup script. Actually I shouldn't have erased it. We can make it something like this. 2 will be href from the props, and what else, class, we will need some text gray of 50, then font semi bold, text maybe let's do accept. That's great. And here we will have a slot, and here define props href of string. Okay, and index.view, here we have vbase setup script. Let's remove this, and here I could do header actually, header, and class equal to width of full, height of maybe I will give it, let's do 20. If needed we can reduce the height, that's not a problem. bg blue of 900, and let's do like this, gray of 900, and what else, padding x of maybe 6, and vertical padding of, let's not give any vertical padding, or let's give it actually just a padding of 1. And here we will have our logo. So I didn't have any logo, so I'll just gonna type here a text, class equal to text to Excel, font, let's do maybe semi bold, and text gray of, or let's do text slate of 50. And here I'm gonna say, what should we say, our app. Okay, and then here we will have our menu links. So that should be our menu links. Instead of Nuxt link, we will be having our, let's do here, menu link, and here, link. So this is not needed. Here we will have href. So this is for login, and here we will have for sign up page. This is not needed again. This is for sign up. So let's call it sign in actually. And let's remove these. All right, let's remove these as well. What else do we need for now? Yes, this needs to be flex, item center, SpaceX, not SpaceX actually, should we justify between. Here instead of that I could say space x of 4, and here also I could give some classes, flex, justify between, items center. Awesome. So that's our menu. So our menu will come here. Okay, so if this is our layout, okay, let's call it div. What can we do? So here we will have our menu, and then we will have our main with slot in it, like this. And here I will give it a container, so max width of maybe XL, MX auto, P of maybe 4, right? What else do we need? So that's great. Nothing here. We might need a component for the SEO tags or the meta tags. So here, like this, meta tags.view, vbase again, setup script. So here we have define props. So we have title, then we have description string. What do we need? URL to be string, right? And here this will be a head component from Nuxt, and here we have meta. So let's start with title. Actually, title is title, meta name description, property OG title, content OG URL, OG image. We don't have image.png. You can just but if you need, you can just always add that. So this is going to be a website. URL is URL. If URL is not provided, then in that case I could say this URL is just http localhost colon 3000, and description is description, title is title. I think this should be fine. I could do something like this here. Our app, something like this. Okay, that looks good. Now next thing we need to do is get this inside our page. So vbase setup. Now this will be Nuxt layout, and name for this will be, we need to give this name guest layout. So guest layout, actually this should be small letter, so it's easier that way. Guest layout, guest layout, because we are not calling it anywhere as a component, so we can keep it like this, guest layout. And then inside this we need our meta tags. So this will be our, we don't need this one actually here. So here we have what do we have? So meta tags title will be, this is sign in page, and this is the sign in page, something like this. And here we will have our user form of type sign in. Are we taking sign in or is it login? Let's see. Sorry, let's keep it consistent actually, or yeah, let's do it like sign in and sign up. So it from here and put it here. Awesome. So let's sign in login function, otherwise sign up function, right? Let's see what do we have. So npm run dev if there are no errors. Okay, we got the error, we don't have sign up page, so let's add that. So sign up, actually we have it but it's not filled up, so let's add this over there, just a skeleton. Let's call this Nuxt layout. Layout, that's gonna be, name will be guest layout. What else do we need for now? This is not needed, this is not needed. We will need the meta tags. Actually, let's create our this page also, sign up, and this is the sign up page. Call it sign up, right? There we go. So that's our form over there. The button is not rendered because of course we haven't went here, and this should be sign in, and then we should have login text on the button. we default as it's not defined. This should be form props dot type, because we have over here form props dot type, form props dot here as well. So in use auth, we are taking this as ref, so we don't need these things. Sorry, I was using the use state syntax, but it's actually a ref, so we need something like this. Right, we don't have a slot here for button. Let's go back here, and there we go. We have our login form. Let's change this to email. This one over here. This is to password. Okay, the problem here is we are returning app, but what if this is already initiated? Then it's not gonna return nothing. So in this case, what we could do is we could just have something like this, initialize app. So it just initializes app. We don't really need anything from this app unless we have multiple apps. And in use auth, wherever we have use Firebase, and let's see if we are using app anywhere. This is not needed. You can remove this. We can just say it's just for the default app. We go back, refresh the page. Awesome. Now we just need some padding for this input because it's not looking that good. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to give padding of 2 from all sides. And there we go. We have some good input. And the form, user form, what I'm going to do is I'll wrap this inside a div with text center. So we have our button in the center. There we go. And it's not that big button, so what we are going to do is we can give some width to this. So we can say width of, let's say 56, and there we go. And we can just push this form at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I will put here we bind $attributes, so we can pass our own styling for this. So, or what we could do is in the Nuxt, sorry, in the layout, we have here p of 4, say px of 4, and maybe py of maybe 16. Okay, so there we go. So that's our login, and for sign up, that's our sign up. Perfect. Now let's just log in and see what happens. Okay, over here, I'm just gonna console this validated data so that we could see what do we get. And if I go over here, let's remove this, Shift I. If I try to submit it, okay, we get sort error, says validation, email invalid string. So we can get these error messages and then we can show them in the error back. So let's go to that stage. Instead of returning that from here, I'm going to either return errors or I'm going to return the actual email password or whatever body it's been there. Here we are putting value. This should be model value, and that should be fine. So that's the model value, and input is here. We have value here. That's coming from here. Actually, this should be also, no, this should be the value that we are putting on the input. That's right. And then form group. So value placeholder. Here we won't have target.value, but here we will just have the value that we receive. Value. So this model value is gonna give us from here this value, so that we will get it over here like this. Or we could do something like this. We could simply make it as a function. Here we will have the actual value from the model, and there we go. Okay, let's put this inside a try catch block so that we can actually handle the error. So try this, and whatever you got the error as, catch error, just catch them. We don't need this body over here for now then. So we start with errors as flag of false, and then we need to make sure that this thing is instance of Zod error. So if error instance of z.Zod error, so we need to get Yeah, we already have that, so that's great. Then we need to get all the errors. So const zod issues, that's what they call it. So error.issues, and then we say for let I equal to 0, zod issues dot length and plus plus. So here we say, okay, whatever is the path, so path will have the actual, whether it's a password error or not, and then the actual message, and we just simply return the errors. We also need to check for this one, but that should be fine. We'll check it in a moment. And here I did a big blunder, sorry for that. I just in a flow putting value. This should be vmodel because that's what we want to bind to. So here we need in-memory persistence, like we need a class, we don't need a text here. So I guess there is in-memory persistence, and let's see, let's try persistence. What do we get for persistence? So set persistence, in-memory persistence, then there is browser local purpose persistence, that's what we want. And let's pass that over here instead of local, this one. And where is the other one? Where is the other one? There we go, this one. Now let's refresh the server. I don't know why whenever I make change in use auth, it asks me use auth is not defined, and then I have to restart the server and then it works. Don't know. So browser local persistence, okay, that should be great. Let's go back here inside the browser, refresh. Okay, there we go. So that's there. Login and Firebase error, Firebase error, auth user auth not found. Okay, so this is for login. That's what we want because the user is not registered. Let's go for sign up. Let's see what do we get here. If I sign up with Aditya, and okay, that's actual email. So register, and there we go. That's our token. Now we just need to send this token and authenticate the user using this token. So this token goes to the server, and then we just have a session code based authentication, and that should be fine. Okay, now we need the server side configs, like the JSON file that we get. So if we go, so service account details. So we go to project settings, service accounts, and there it should give me an option. There you go, generate new key. So just generate that. So this JSON file, I need to bring it in my project. So I'll just quickly bring that. So inside server, we can create a new folder. We can call here utils, and inside utils, create new file, call it Firebase server config.js. Or what we could do is we could say here, rename and call it Firebase server, something like this. Now, of course, whenever we want to use Firebase server, we have to initialize the app and all those things. So here I'm going to say const configs. So that will be the JSON that I just copied. There we go. And here I really need a function again. So here I'm going to say Firebase admin actually. So import initialize app from Firebase admin app. And then next thing we need is function. So function, let's export this function, export default function Firebase server, and then we just initialize the app with this configs. So this should go, don't worry. So here I'm gonna say const admin.initialize app credential admin.credential.cert and the service account. So instead of service account, we will have here config, and this initialize app, we already have it. So we need to also get this credential. So from here, I'm going to get credential. Actually, we can get cert, and this is not needed then. Perfect. So that's our Firebase server setup. Now here also we need to make sure, like, it's only for one-time thing, that when we are on the development server, definitely this will try to create a new app. So here I just need to make sure that there is only one app. So get apps, and here I need to make sure that if get apps dot length equal to 0, then only run this. Same like what we did for our use Firebase. Actually it's a function actually, so we need to also convert it into function like this. There we go. Now that's done. So we will need an API here. So let's create a folder, API, and inside that folder we have to create our login. So new file, login dot, so this is going to be a post request JS. It should be something like this. Now here what I need to do is I need to get the Firebase first. So import, we have Firebase server from this utils. So first we initialize our app. So here Firebase server, we just initialize it, and then we need to get the token from the body. So I'll be passing it as a request body. So we can make this as an async function, and here I'm going to say const, and here I will have a token that will be read body, await read body, and that will be from the event, and then we just decode that token. So the first thing we need is get auth. So let's make actually it as a wait. So here I'm gonna say const expire since. I'll keep it a 5 days. I guess max you could go 5 days or 10 days, something like that. So try to keep it to that. Then we will need some like cookie options, because we will be using set cookie that comes from H3, but I guess it's automatically imported for the Nuxt server, so we don't need to worry about that. But before that, okay, let's set the options first. So equal to, so first one will be a max age, that will be expires in. Then is this HTTP only cookie? Yes, we want this to be HTTP only cookie. For now we won't keep it secure because you need to use HTTPS for that, but of course when you're using production, then you need to put, as it says, like if it's in production, then needs to be secure. And path will be, for now I will just say the root path. Then we use set cookie to set the cookie, so that's the event. Then the session cookie that we are going to get in a moment, and the other things. So I'm going to call this session cookie, or let's call it auth cookie, like this, auth cookie. And then whatever the token will be, or the session token that we are going to get, and the options. But before that, let's get the session cookie. So here I'm going to say const auth cookie, actually, as we are calling it, which is actually a session cookie. So I'm going to say, okay, get auth and await this, otherwise we won't be able to do it right. So as it's a asynchronous function, so get auth, then create session cookie, then the token that we will be passing from the front end, and the expiry time. Now whatever will be the auth cookie, that will be the value over here. Perfect. Now we need to make sure that this token is right, because if let's say someone passes a wrong token, then this is going to throw an error. So we need to wrap it in a try catch block. So what we need to do is actually we need to wrap this entire thing in try catch. So try and catch with error, and just paste it, whatever we just cut pasted. So here, if everything is right, we return our response with status code of 200 and whatever body we want to send. So here I'm gonna say message, I will say cookie set, or let's say auth successful. Otherwise here we are gonna, okay, let's say we don't need this return statement here, or if there are any error, we need to create an error. So what I'm going to do is I will say create error, then status message, that's going to be on the right. Yeah, this is the right way to do it. So we'll create an error. I think we need to throw this error. So Okay, let me double check the doc. Do we need to throw this? Yeah, we need to throw this. So let's throw this error. Perfect. Now that goes to our use auth over here. So use auth will make request to this route. So here we need to, let's create a API that will send that, because that's going to be the same function. I don't think so there is anything new in that. So this is going to create a function or make a request. So here I'm going to say function make API, or sorry, make or do server auth like this, pass the token in it, and here we just need to say $fetch, and here API login, then body will be a token, so that's a token, and then we'll get a response. Here we will say if response.status code, because that's what we are looking, I guess, over here. If there is a status code equal to 200, then we navigate to and we will navigate to dashboard. So here we'll create a dashboard route. Let's create that actually. Dashboard.view vbase setup script, and here we will get them to dashboard. Otherwise, or catch, there will be an error. We will throw the error. Just alert for now, but you can always make some UI message or something like that to show them. Here I'm going to say invalid creds, something like this. But definitely, most probably, if everything is right here, you'll get error here regarding to the token expiry or something like that. Right, so just need to use it here, server auth, pass the token. Where else? So that's for sign up, and also here server auth, pass the token. Awesome. So in any case, when they are registered, they just go to dashboard. Now I'm not doing email validation here, but of course you can always add that functionality in the register or in the login to make sure that if the email is not validated, or if the email is not verified, you can block the access. I'm going to keep it pretty straightforward and simple for this one, like pretty easy kind of thing. But of course you can always add the email validation functionality. So here on the dashboard, I will need to create a layout actually for dashboard. So let's create a layout here, dashboard layout dot view, and we actually can use most of these things where we don't need these things, and yeah, we actually can use most of these. So what I'm going to do is actually we can use the cookie part, and we'll try to see if the user is authenticated, then we show this. If not, sorry, if the user is authenticated, we don't show this, otherwise we show them logout. So here we could have menu link to, first we'll have it for dashboard. What's happening? Dashboard dashboard, and here we will have one for logout. So for the logout, I'll create a logout component in a moment, but for now let's just keep it till here. So what I want is these two, so we will need a script tag here, script, and this will be a setup script. Setup script. Now, as our cookie is HTTP only cookie, it can only access on a server side. So what I'm going to do here is first, okay, let's actually get the guest layout from here. Of course, there will be some changes, but I'll keep it just the same. And to the dashboard, actually the menu, so I can make this menu component. Where is that? Menu here. So here I can get const is logged in equal to ref of false. Okay, now here I'm going to say if process.env actually it's process.server, yeah, process.server. Then here I need the cookie, so here I'm going to say const server, sorry, auth cookie equal to key. Cookie, I guess it's use cookie. So here I'm gonna say use cookie, and let's see what, yeah, the name of the cookie we want to have. So we are calling it auth cookie, and then I'm gonna say if auth cookie is there, then it's true, otherwise it's gonna be false. So is logged in dot value equal to auth cookie dot value. It's there, that's great, otherwise it's gonna be false. And then here we could say if is logged in, and we will just make a complement of this because we wanted if they are not logged in. And here we will say if is logged in. Now there should be a way we can use a span tag or some template to wrap this and just make sure that we don't have to write if all on all of these, but if we here we just have 3 links, so should be fine. Okay, now dashboard layout, the menu is here. Okay, perfect. Nuxt layout, name equal to dashboard layout. Awesome. Now here we will need some meta tags, so we'll get this part, but here I'm going to say dashboard. I'm going to say this is the dashboard page. Have fun. Yeah, cool. Now what else do we need? Okay, I think we just need to give it a try. So hopefully it will work in one go, otherwise we'll solve the error, no problem. So npm run dev, oops, good start. So npm run dev here. Right, let's see in the browser. So that's our config file, and should be our app. We already signed in. I don't remember what password did I use, but I think should be some 1 2 3 4 kind of thing. Okay, let's sign in. Okay, we are on dashboard. Perfect. Awesome. But it's still there. This thing is still there. I guess I need to refresh this. Yeah, it's kind of messed up, to be honest. If you see, auth cookie value is there. What I could do is I could make this as a use state like this, call it as login state like this, and let's remove this. What I'm gonna do is, I don't know why it's asking for a view formatter when it's already there. Anyhow, I just need to restart my VS Code in a moment, but that's fine. So I will make this as a server component. So here I'm gonna say server.view, and this component will render on the server. So let's go over here, and perfectly fine, we have dashboard over there. Awesome. Now we need our form over here where we put in the title, description, all those things, and we have our meta tags generated. So on the dashboard, I'm going to make a 2-column layout. I'm going to make this as a desktop first tab because generally you want this mostly for the coding reason, because we're going to create the Nuxt 3 those meta tags. So here I'm going to say div.grid, and grid calls to gap of maybe how much, 6. Okay, then the first container will be about the form, the second container will be our code. So let's do that. Here I will have form group, type of text, label is enter page title, and v model form.title. Okay, let's make this as a form. Actually, it should be fine. Let's do the same thing. This will be class flex call space y of maybe 4. This again text, enter description, Then form.description. We can also add validation rule here. I guess max is 150 words or characters. Let's see. Let me quickly Google that. It says 155 characters. We can say enter description. 155 characters is a optimum one. Up to 155 characters. Well, that's what I got. Maybe you guys have different result. Then this will be of type URL, and we will ask here canonical URL. Enter canonical URL, and here we have URL. Okay, that should be great. Center, then the button will come here. Generate. Let's remove this from here. Generate button, and what I need here is here some classes. I'm gonna make it text gray of 50. Maybe what color should I go with? BG slate of 900, and maybe width of 56 again. Awesome. Let's see our page. Cannot read. Yeah, I haven't defined this form yet, so let's define that. Here we will have our code thing, but before that let's put those here. So here I'm going to say const form equal to reactive. There I have title, description, URL. The menu component has disappeared. I guess it throws a error as well. Here I need to do experimental, and what does it say? What to enable? Component is lands. Don't know what does it mean. It's first time I'm seeing this. Component is lands. True. Now this will restart our server. See what happens. There you go. Why there are two forms? Okay, for some reason the server component didn't work. Because it's an experimental feature as well, and also in the Nuxt config.ts, like even we add that component is component island, but it doesn't work. And also you cannot have slot in server components. So what I thought was to wrap this in process.server, which temporarily solves our issue over here. But if I delete the cookie from here, and let's say I go back to sign in page, sign in from here, it's still there. The problem is the first render is like the first page render is server side, but thereafter browser takes over. So this code will never execute in rendering or in the navigation. So what we need to do is on our Firebase client side thing. So that's why we have like a mix where we have where that is in use auth. We are having where is it in this this one, set persistence. We are doing browser local persistence. Now ideally what you should be doing here is if you're using server-side login, then you don't need this, but in our case we need it because we want to switch that menu bar, or we need to create our own menu for dashboard only. In that case we don't need to worry about these things, because here we are doing some unnecessarily complicated logic, so that's why you have to worry about it. So well, anyhow, in that case what we need to do is here we just need the Firebase. So here I'm going to say const actually what I could do is I could get the user after they are logged in, and if the user is logged in, or let's just use on auth state changed, on auth state changed, that will come from here. There you go, auth here, and user details, and here we will say if there is a user details, then we will just put user.value.user details. Otherwise we will just do nothing. Actually we just keep it as it is. So this we need to, now here we will have user details actually. So this user.value will reflect our user.value here. So what I'm going to do is I will just need this user. So inside the menu. Where is the menu? Here. So in the index, what I need to do is, if this is not server, if this is a client, then const user, I will get it from use auth, and here I need to make this either as a watched state or as a computed property, something like that. So here I will make it more like a watcher, and I will watch for this user, or you can just say user like this. And whenever there is a new value to the user, new value. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm doing such a complicated thing. I should have just taken this as a separate menu in dashboard. Sorry for that. So, but it's something good to know, like how to manage such edge cases. So if there's a user value, then it's true. Otherwise, it's not true. Great. So if we refresh this page, so we have the dashboard. If we go to sign in, let's see what happens. We need to remove it from the cookie. Remove this. If you see here, you'll see there is a sign up and it becomes dashboard because we are logged in from the client side. So we need to log out from the client side and then make it work. But if we log in here, everything works. That's fine. Now this is server side rendered. Perfect. Now let's work on this. So we have page title, this, and then we generate our code here. Awesome. So let's just go back to our dashboard page. So let's close this, and also dashboard layout. Okay. Where is that? Here. So what do we need to do here is, so this is the div for, or actually this one here, we will have the div for the code. So let's create the skeleton of what will we need. So if I go to this meta tags, we will need actually something like these. You can add more tags in it. So let's copy it from here, dashboard.view, and this is going to be more like a computed property, because or not really a computed property. We can just fill in this with these things over here. So what I'm going to do is, first we have the reactive value and then the generate function, and here I'm going to say @submit dot prevent generate, and here we have function generate const code will be, we will just copy it over here like this, and whatever these things come up, we will put them over here. So what we will need here is, we need form dot title, also need it over here, form dot description, form dot description. This is title again, form dot title, form dot description, and this will be our URL. So we can just simply put the URL here, form dot URL, image URL. If you want, you can also put that over here, but let's see till here, and let's make this as a reactive value as well. So code const code equal to ref of some blank string, and then here we can make it like this, code dot value. Okay, and then we just need to put this code somewhere over here. So let's have pre-tag, and inside that we will have a code tag. Perfect. So yeah, I don't know why. So this website is a portfolio website. Let's put some link, https look example.com, generate, and there we go. We have this over here. Now what do we need is, we just need a title to tell them, okay, what is this about? And we can also add highlight.js to highlight that by giving some class, like, do we want it as a JavaScript or do we want it as a whatnot? So let's add highlight.js and make this more beautiful. Yeah, should be fine. Okay, and there we will have our things generated. So here I could say our app let's highlight JS. So if we go over here, we can use npm install highlight JS, and then we just need to highlight the text with some, like, just need to put the class of JavaScript. And we also need what can I say, the theme. So we need to add the theme and many things. So let's do step by step. First, let's install highlight JS. So copy it from here, then go over here, npm highlight JS, highlight JS from highlight JS. And what else do we need is we need the theme. So I'll get the theme link in a moment. There we go. We could get from CDN. Let's see for GitHub dark one. GitHub, the dark one. Actually, this looks great. So what do I need is I just need the URL, and I need to, okay, let's copy the link tag and we can just create with use head. So here on this dashboard page, I need to add use head. And to this use head, we will need, I think it's link, and that's going to be an array. So first, let's put the link here. Okay, too many things to add. So first, we will have rel of, okay, let's see if it's, okay, that's good. Thank you, Copilot. So let's remove this. And what do we need next? So that will go over here, and here we want to highlight it. So here I'm going to say this thing over here. Okay, let's add ref of pre like this. So we could say const pre equal to ref, and here I'm going to say highlight JS, highlight JS dot highlight auto highlight element. I'm gonna say pre dot value. Actually, it says we need the code. Actually, if I go over here, you see it actually looks for code. So let's get actually the code rather than the pre dot value. So here I'm gonna say ref of code element. And let's remove this from here, code element, and then here we could put like this. Awesome. Unmounted. Like this. Let's refresh. Test. Right, generate. Okay, I'm still not getting why this is there. I don't want this actually. Okay, quick research and behind the scene, what did I do? So instead of having it on mounted, because one thing I noticed was, what if we have a language feature? Let's say we have what do we have? Let's say we have something like maybe JavaScript or PHP, whatnot. Not PHP, actually it could be JavaScript if we are doing for Next.js or something like that. So in that case, we don't need you on mounted, like we want the language to be dynamic. So what I have done here is I have taken the code, actual code, and then here we have highlight js.highlight, then what code we want to highlight, and we just say, okay, the language should be HTML, and from the value we will get the highlighted code. Then here we put it in code.value, and finally here we have just need to put the HLJS class, and the div inside that we can put the HTML code. So let's give this a try. If we save this and try to render something, let's say our app is awesome. Awesome spelling, I guess it's not that awesome. Our app's description, https example.com. Awesome, generate, and there we go. So we have this Nuxt 3 meta tag generator. Awesome. Now what we need to do is just have a title here. So we can add a title here, something like this. We could say h1.textexcel, or let's do text to Excel actually. Text center, font semi bold, and also you want my of 9. We have Nuxt 3 meta tag generator. Awesome. And there we go. Perfect. So that becomes our meta tag generator. And one thing we could add is just a copy button. So we click on this and this text is copied. So let's add that. So here on this div, let's make this add class of relative. And here we can add the absolute one where we have the copy, or we could say copy, and let's put this somewhere. Where should we put this? Let's make it as a button actually. Button. Then okay, it says bottom right of MD, top left of MD. So I guess bottom right is this, top left is this. Actually, we can just say we want this to be rounded from the rounded left MD, and this should be somewhere to the right. Yes, that's right. Let's see, what do we have it? Where do we have it? So we have it over here. We just need to push it down a bit. So maybe top of 10. Yep, slightly up. So maybe top of 5. Okay. No, maybe top of 6, maybe. Top of 6, yeah. Trial and errors. And let's make this as 700. So we can have it distinguished. And when we click on this, we want to copy this text. So here I'm going to say @click. I'm going to say copy text. Copy code actually. So function here. Function copy code, and I'm going to say navigator.clipboard.write text, and we just get the text, and that's it. So let's give it a try. So this is there. Actually, it should be when we have code. So what we could do is we can straight away take this and put it over here. Now let's go over here. I haven't saved that. There you go. So our app. This is awesome. Great work. Oh no, this is URL. I don't know what I'm doing. https example.com. Perfect. Generate. Copy this, and let's see, what do we have. Okay, we have this span tags. We don't need this span tags. We just need the code. So what do I need to do is actually just get the text. So from here, what we could do is, because if you notice this thing over here, it's getting overwritten, so we need the actually yeah, we just need the highlighted code. So here I need to take another, let's take it as a reactive actually. Reactive actual and highlighted. So this will be code.actual, this will be code.highlighted, and this would be code.actual. And what do we need is where is that? This should be code.actual, and this should be code.highlighted. Okay, this should be great. Yeah, this should be actually code.actual. There you go. And then if we try it out now, our app testing with description, description here, https example.com, generate, just copy this, let's paste it over here, and there we go. So this is not needed actually, this should be, yeah, so we can remove this once, these curly braces. Where do we have it next? Yeah, then this would be just our app and something. Okay, let's give it a try. And also what I want to make is when we click on that copy button, where is that button? So I want to change that text from copy to copied, just to show some like a flicker kind of thing. So here I'm going to say button text, which will be copy by default. So here I'm going to take const button text ref copy, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say button text dot value copied, and then I will put a set timeout and change it after 3 seconds. Okay, let's give it a try. Let's go over here. This is our app. The app is made for testing. HTTPS example.com. Generate. All right, copied. Go to copy. Oh yeah, there you go. And there we go. This is our app, and awesome. We can simply copy this and paste it wherever we like. Okay, one thing I have noticed here is this is binded. We don't want to bind this because these are statically generated. But if you want to bind it, let's say with colon or something, then we can have an option over here. Do you want it as a binded one, or you want a statically generated one? I'm going to keep it a statically generated one for now. And other thing, if you notice, is there is this our app. So let's remove this. And what do we need? This content shouldn't be my app. We can ask them for whether it's a website or whether it's whatnot. Okay, let's do that. Actually, let's add those 2-3 fields. So here I'm gonna put something like this. Site name. So that would be form.site. Then here I'm gonna say what is it, and then I will have a placeholder to prompt them something like this. Website or article. Oh, article spelling is wrong. Blog, like exactly what is it? So this would be type, and there we have our title. So let's add these 2 fields over here. So we have inside form, there is site blank and type blank. So here we have, this would be form.type, and this will be form.site. Okay. Yeah, is it form.site? Yes, that's true. Perfect. Now if we go back again over here, so we have these over here. So let's say this is our app. What's happening? Our app. This is a website, and what is it? Page title. Let's say sign in page. Then we have what do we have? This is a sign in page, and then we have HTTPS example.com. Generate, and there we go. We have everything correct. So let's copy this from here, go to app.view and try to paste it. There we go. That's all in this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you feel this video is worth sharing with your network, please do share with your network. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. So see you in the next video. Till the next time, goodbye.